Hola students, welcome to week 2 of school. This week we are still focusing on the Spanish speaking world and more specifically the countries and their capitals. Last week you watched a video with all the Spanish speaking countries and their capitals. Please check your answers here. There are 21 Spanish speaking countries and these are their capitals. I hope you got everything correct. Before we continue, you should know that in Spanish we have two question marks, an inverted one at the beginning of the question, like this in the example, and then a normal one at the end of the question. So you will see that for all questions in Spanish. So let us continue looking on the capitals. Whenever it is that we want to know the capital of a country, we ask this question: ¿Cuál es la capital de? And then the country that we're referring to would go on the line. So let's listen again. ¿Cuál es la capital de? And then the country would go on the line. So let's go again. ¿Cuál es la capital de? Then you put whichever country you're referring to on the line. And this means what is the capital of whichever country. So let us say we want to know the capital of Cuba. So we would simply ask, ¿Cuál es la capital de Cuba? So we would say, ¿Cuál es la capital de Cuba? ¿Cuál es la capital de Cuba? So we say, ¿Cuál es la capital de? And then the country, which is Cuba, goes on the line. Let us look on Chile. If we want to know the capital for Chile, we would say, ¿Cuál es la capital de Chile? So, ¿Cuál es la capital de Chile? So, ¿Cuál es la capital de? And the country goes on the line. Let's do Colombia. So we would simply say, ¿Cuál es la capital de? And the country goes on the line, and in this case it would be Colombia. ¿Cuál es la capital de Colombia? So all you have to say is, ¿Cuál es la capital de? Then you put the country on the line. Try this one for yourself. How would you find out the capital of Peru? What would you say?
A few moments later.
So, the correct answer is, ¿Cuál es la capital de Peru? So, all you had to do was to put ¿Cuál es la capital de? And then the country would go on the line. So, to find out the capital of a country, we simply say, ¿Cuál es la capital de? And then whichever country you're asking about, you just put that on the line. So we actually have two ways to respond to the question. Both are actually saying the same thing, we're just turning it around in a different way. So you could say, the capital of Jamaica is Kingston. That's one way. Or you could say, Kingston is the capital of Jamaica. Notice that I'm saying the same thing, but in a different way. So you're going to learn how to say the same thing in Spanish. So you notice it's the same thing, but we just have two different ways of expressing it. So let's begin with the first method. The first method is la capital de, followed by the country, es, and then you put the capital, which means the capital of whichever country you are referring to is. So you would simply say la capital de, whatever the country is, es, then you put the capital. Just like when I said the capital of Jamaica is Kingston. So let us try with a Spanish-speaking country. For example, we have Cuba and the capital is La Habana. So we could say la capital de Cuba es La Habana, meaning the capital of Cuba is La Havana. Bueno, so that's just one method. So la capital de, followed by the country, es, then you put the capital. Or we could start off with the name of the capital. So for example, Kingston is the capital of Jamaica. So in Spanish we would say dash es la capital de, then you put the country, meaning dash is the capital of whichever country it is. So dash es la capital de, then you put the country. Alright, so this is another method, but you're saying the same thing. Alright, so method 1, you're saying the capital of Cuba is La Habana. Whereas method 2, you're saying La Habana is the capital of Cuba. You realize that it's the same thing? So whichever method you're comfortable with using, you can use. So with the first method, we start off by saying the capital of. So la capitale de, whichever country it is, then you put the capital. That's method 1, right? Method 2, however, you start off with the name of the capital. So dash es la capitale de, then you put the country. Dash is the capital of whichever country you are talking about. Both methods are saying the same thing. Pick the one you're comfortable with. So let us do an example with Colombia, and the capital is Bogota, right? So we're going to be using both methods. So we can say la capital de Colombia es Bogota, meaning the capital of Colombia is Bogota. Or we could say Bogota es la capital de Colombia, meaning Bogota is the capital of Colombia. Alright, both methods, same thing, different ways. Now let's do Ecuador with Quito. We could simply say la capital de Ecuador es Quito, or Quito es la capital de Ecuador. So the capital of Ecuador is Quito, or you could say Quito is the capital of Ecuador, whichever method you are comfortable with. You have a very easy activity to do, and it will be posted separately. But before that, let us review. To find out the capital of a country, we say, ¿Cuál es la capital de? Then you put the country. To respond, la capital de, whatever the country es, you put the capital. Or, dash es la capital de, then you put the country. Alright? Remember, the activity is on Google Classroom. Adios.